All right, the rubber meets the road again. So, it's Sunday. It's a Build-A-Boat Sunday, and we're here in the yard, and we're about to attach the frames. Just doing some last-minute checking of my angles and making sure everything's right. Let me show you what we got here. So, we've got most of them just clamped, the ones that we're attaching today. And because the boat has all these curves and angles and stuff, there's a very subtle curve, except when it comes to frame 12. And I needed to double check it to make sure that everything was correct, and we are pretty good. So I guess from this angle you should see they're pretty much aligned and level. I think you can see that. And you can see that curve begins to take place. And the tripped out part is I'm going to walk back to where eventually the stem would be, which comes down from here down. And we'll see how that is beginning to curve and come in to where we're going to be. And on that side, I'm still missing frame 16. We had to redo that one, but I've had to redo it for a while now. And we can't put in frame number 20 because my column that supports my sun enclosure is blocking. So it would be frame 20 would go right there, and my column is blocking it. So eventually I'm going to have to move it so that we can go ahead and attach frame 20. But we're just mixing up epoxy, getting ready to glue the frames. So hold tight. Okay, so we've marked the board, you can see, so we'll know where the epoxy is to be applied. And now there's nothing to it but to put it on and screw it. So we've got the frames being supported by temporary supports. Just go up and hold the frame. Trying to get a good picture. All right. Take the knife and put the lines in it. Not too tight. All right. Okay. That's actually good, Ray. Go ahead and apply it more on the actual frame. Let's press pause here while we get another angle.
Location on the other drill with the
Look inside the tent. Okay. Make it really heavy on those sides. Yeah. And are you sure you're far enough? Because that's a 3-inch. All right. Okay.
Can I push the frame here to me? Excuse me. Alright. There you go.
Okay. So now you have to put 3 more screws further down the line. Right. Yep.
It's good.
Just make sure you're not missing the floor.
More screw.
Where the screws at?
Right there, I got 2 more.
So we have to cut out a little shim because there is a gap right there. Cut out the shim for. Hold on, wet it. Take it out first. Wet it with epoxy on both sides.
No, you say.
Huh? It's good enough because we can fill it with epoxy. I just didn't want a 1/8 of an inch gap without epoxy and without some wood there. Got your hammer? There we go. All right. Yeah. All right, and if there's anything left, yeah, take that. Yeah. All right. All right. So we're cleaning it up, and now we'll go ahead and do the rest of it. All right. So just to follow up, we're moving along a little bit. And you see we're getting good penetration, good squeeze out. On the forward end, and where am I at? On the back end. Can't give you a picture on the top because it's on the bottom. Yeah, the penetration. So we've gotten, these things take a while to do because you get, you can see, the top screw is my hand. That screw right there is toe-nailed into the keelson. Those 3 go into the floor This is the floor here. And then those 2 screws there go into the keelson on the top. So all together it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because then you've got 3 more screws into the floor a little further down. So taking a minute, and then we clean them all up before we move forward. As you see, those are nice and clean. You see those joints? See, Ray wipes off the excess. And then we wipe it down with a rag. It's got some acetone in it just to make sure. Wipes those joints clean. There you out. And we've lost almost daylight. It's about 4:30, 4:45, and I guess we started putting these frames up around 2:30. So 3 hours in, and we've got frame 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, and 19. Framed, glued, and screwed, and attached to the keelson. And I just wanted to show you, should have did this a little earlier before the light went so low. But if you look there, that is the water line. We've got a nice fair shape, and I'm loving it. So Ray is just finishing up the screw holes, trying to fill them with epoxy. What's left over, that's pretty perfect there. Nice tight seam. So eventually the remainder of the floor gets cut off. That piece gets cut off. And then the plywood gets laid on top. And then it gets tabbed in with 3 or 4 inch tape, fiberglass tape. Of course, after we do a what is that called? I forget now. A bead of epoxy, but you guys know what I'm talking about. A fillet, yes. We'll do a fillet between the plywood. And move on from there. Just trying to show you what we did. And that's half of them. So, did not do other side. Let's see. So, I'm facing aft. So if I was facing aft, typically, that would be starboard, and this would be port. But since it's upside down, this is starboard. That's port. So we finished the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frames on the starboard side. The next week we'll do the frames on the port side. Actually, have frame 16. It's just in the shelter. We had to redo it. That's the first thing we did today. And so yeah, looking good, making progress. I don't know what to keep showing you because a lot of what we're doing is just repetition over and over and over again. And I know projects like SV Seeker, he does a lot of sanding and welding, and it's the same thing over and over and over again, but I'm not sure if you guys really want to see that every week for the next month. That's basically what I'm going to do. Today's high temperature is around 65. When we started putting epoxy on, it was about 65 degrees outside. Let's see what we got now. You know, I have my little weather station inside of my tent. And if you recall from a very earlier video, it's typically 8 degrees difference inside to out, 8 to 10. So right now that says 62 degrees? So that means, yeah, right at about 54 out here now. So I'm glad we're done. Not worried about those screw holes, but I guess we've been done the main layup or the main attaching of the frames for about half hour now. So it doesn't feel 65, 55 degrees out here. I think, I don't know. I would stop the camera and look at the weather app to see what it is in my neighborhood, but I'll do that afterwards. So this is pretty much all it's going to be for the next couple of weeks. My goal is to do as much carpentry in advance and, well, during the week and during the weekends to do epoxy work. So hoping to get about 4 frames built a week, and every 2 weeks attach them. And I'm hoping, weather permitting, I've got at least another good 6 weeks worth of where the temperatures aren't too cold. I am thinking about getting some of the West Systems cold weather epoxy. I think it goes down another 10 or 15 degrees below 55 degrees, down to like 32. I guess that would be 20 something. But I'm not sure yet. Need to see if it's worth it and what the temperatures look like. I know typically around November, it's still just sweater weather here. You still have high temperatures around 60 for the day. So I'm hoping that I'll get through the end of November, where I at least have a day or two during the week where I can use the epoxy. But if it looks like that won't be the case, I'll go ahead and order the colder weather epoxy to go ahead and finish working. Hopefully we can keep doing epoxy work really until December. I think we have high temperatures around 50, 55 degrees to around the second week of December, before it really starts to get cold. Really doesn't get cold in Maryland anymore until January, where it's 30s and below. So also was thinking about other options. As you see, my shelter has sections, 12-foot sections, where the there's a break in it, this thing. So I'm thinking about, at 12-foot sections, maybe closing off a 12-foot, so from that post to that post is a 12-foot section. I could just put plastic on the outside, outer walls, right? And then drape plastic from the frames, and then put a propane or kerosene heater inside of one particular area and work that way. I'm thinking, I know I should be able, well, I'm going back. We're not going to go forward. We're going from frame, skipping 20, 21, we're going to go 21 backwards. Hopefully I can get that done all the way to frame 30 before December, and maybe, if need be, I can start tenting from frame 12 going forward. Because really I'd probably just have to do this all 2 sections, and put a little heater in here on days when I want to do epoxy work. So thinking about that, let me know what your thoughts are. And also let me know if you want to see the same thing week after week, because I know it gets kind of boring to me. And my other plan is to just during the winter to do the stringers. I think you can see we've got that one stringer up. What happens is they get routed in, so a groove gets cut from here, 3/4 inches down, the width of this, and then this actually gets set in. Right now this is not where it's supposed to be because this is a curve, and eventually it gets bent into place. Yeah. So yeah. All right. That's about it for today. Let me know what you think. If you want me to bore you with the same thing, and what are your thoughts on this temporary enclosure I'm thinking about using. Again, thank you for your comments. Thank you for liking the videos and sharing it. We're about almost up to 1,700 subscribers. I love that. I can't believe it. That's actually what I'm doing. I never thought I would have that many subscribers. So I want to thank you very, very much. I'm very appreciative of all that. Even your comments. Iron sharpens iron. So when you submit a comment and I follow up with what my plans are or what the thoughts were, And then sometimes you guys give me some good stuff, make me think about some things. So I really do appreciate it. So please stay tuned. And until next week, peace and blessings.